Oh, so we should all start our recording then.
Oh yeah.
What?
So-
Start recording?
OBS locally.
Give us a sec.
That's cool.
Yes. This is behind the
So
scenes,
this work.
right here.
I like
So sorry.
Hello?
Okay, guys, we should probably do some of this back end stuff real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So are you guys recording on OBS?
Just
Recording
audio.
on
Yeah.
Audition.
Just audio.
I'm not.
If you can record it on OBS, if you can.
All right. We'll get it.
Okay. Just do a countdown together.
Am I live, by the way?
Yeah, you're live.
Okay.
3.
I'm not recording. Just saying.
Oh, come on, Rowdy.
I didn't know we were recording.
Come on, let's go. Let's
Tell
go.
me
Let's
that
go.
2 seconds before we go live.
Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm really sorry to the viewers out there. We should have had this organized before we started. It's one of those things. It's live. It's live. So what can you do, eh? So
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, go
that's
for
true.
it.
are you recording, Rowdy, or you need a bit more time?
I would probably need some because I hear myself here.
Oh man. Okay, guys. Again, apologies about this. But the reason why we're doing this is for a very good and justified reason, and that is so we can bring you this awesome podcast on iTunes and other, places where you can get podcasts, just the audio alone, so you can listen to this awesome content that's incredibly professional and well prepared on your commute to work or as you're walking around in the park. So now that I've kind of filled in long enough,
Stop blabbing, Mike.
and,
Only walking to the park or your commute. Anything else will be punished.
yeah, exactly.
And-
So if we just do a quick countdown, everyone. So you got to say it as well, so I can put it together. 3,
2,
1.
I forgot to clap.
Go on,
Is that
Randy.
okay?
That's
all right?
Take the intro
okay.
away. No pressure.
Cool. All right, hi everyone. We're here today with a VR Inside podcast. We're going to talk about some awesome stuff. First and foremost, I want to introduce Nathy. I mean, do I really need to introduce this guy? We're on his channel, and he's pretty much a VR specialist, most specialized among all of us. He's a great guy.
Thank
He
you.
does a lot of VR content. And that's pretty sweet. And then we got Prometheus with the lovely green screen behind him. He's not ultra keying this time, but yeah, I mean, you can all look at his pretty face, so that's pretty nice. We got PSVR Frank, specialist in PSVR, but soon also Oculus, HTC Vive, and who knows what else that guy will bring to the scene. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. We got him in there as well. We got Mike from Virtual Reality Oasis. Yeah, wave to the camera, great. And then we got me, Prison Boss specialist, HTC Vive, Oculus, you name it. I do it, so yeah, let's.
Oh, you're an expert in every platform for Prison Boss. Wow. I like that.
Everywhere where they release Prison Balls on, then you can call me. I know what to do.
Wow. I like that.
That was a good intro, man. That was a really good
Thanks.
intro.
Thanks.
So welcome, guys. How you all doing? You all good?
I'm great.
Wonderful.
Apologies
It is
again
going well.
to our viewers for that little mishap at the beginning. We will get ourselves organized next time, so you won't have to contend with that. But hopefully in the future, like I say, you'll be able to digest this podcast in other ways, in that it will be available maybe on iTunes and other platforms where you can get podcasts as well. So that's the kind of reason why we're doing this. So hopefully you understand.
Yeah.
So I just want to kick off today's podcast with Frank, really, because I've got to say, Frank, like, you are the luckiest dude on earth right now, and
Dude, I have no idea how lucky I know it's crazy.
and you've got a cool story to tell. Because the last podcast we discussed that you won a PC, that was awesome in itself, and now you've got Oculus and a HTC Vive coming. So yeah, take it away, dude. It'd be interesting to know a bit more.
Oh man, it's crazy, guys. Yeah, I had no idea. I got Lawbreakers on a whim. I won a PC. I got a contact through Oculus thanks to some lovely friends around here, and because of that they hooked my boy up. Well, they haven't yet. I've been on like every single day. Like they're bad about email, but what you can do, they're busy. And then I woke up this morning to HTC Vive email me, and they were like, "Frank, we heard." I talked to them back at PAX, and they were like, "We heard you got a PC. We're gonna hook you up." So yeah, I'm just kind of like at a loss for words. It's so awesome. I can't wait to like, hop into the next level VR with you guys.
Yeah,
It's
man.
more social. That's what I see it as. I see it as PC is way more social.
Yeah, and we can start playing together as well, which would be really, really cool. Yeah. So I know obviously there's like PSVR games and cross-platform play, but I think the only cross-platform game for PSVR and other platforms right now is Bridge Crew. Is that right?
No, we got Werewolves, we got E Valkyrie, and
Arizona Sunshine? Is that cross?
No, Arizona's not cross. Yeah, but those are the only three really.
Yeah, and I have to say, like you mentioned Werewolves there, like I haven't played that game in a long time, but it's actually a lot of fun for a social game.
That game is even fun if you don't play it in VR.
Exactly, that game's just fun.
Yeah. So okay, dude. So like you are officially the luckiest man on Earth right now. So congrats on your Vive and your Oculus. So I just want to move on to a article that was on Upload recently about Nintendo. So we've all been looking at Nintendo recently, and I know when the Switch came out, there was a lot of speculation whether there would be some sort of VR version, or is it going to be a headset you could slot your Switch into, or something crazy like that, and nothing really materialized. But Nintendo have actually come out and said something official this time, and I just want to read it out word for word. So this is from Reggie. And he says, the problem with VR is that there aren't a lot of experiences that are truly fun. He said the company has no plans to experiment with VR for now, though it may happen in the future. So I'd be interested to hear what your guys' thoughts are on that.
Well, I mean, first and foremost, that's not technically accurate because they did make that VR game. They just used the Vive to do it. The Mario Kart, remember? It's in arcades right now, I think.
Yeah, but they didn't make it, by the way. Bandai did it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it's their license, no? That must be their license.
It is their license.
Yeah.
They play it on
involved
safe.
in some respect. Then
they have to say okay.
I guess they don't want to. They don't want to do any first-party things, though.
But isn't that like a normal approach from Nintendo?
Yeah, that was a big step last year too.
They're always a little bit like later to like the game.
Yeah.
They let like other people like pave the road a bit, and then they jump on with their titles and with their huge advertising campaigns. And yeah, I mean I'm not surprised that Nintendo at the moment is not really interested in virtual reality, or maybe is interested but not willing to put a lot of money in development.
They probably like try to plan out like the next 5 years for the Switch too, and VR probably kind of hit them in the face like, uh-oh. Yeah, I think they're fine. I think the core market is going to buy Nintendo products regardless if they're virtual reality or not, and that's probably what they know at the end of the day too.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? There was a lot of hype around that arcade, and for those of you listeners out there that aren't aware, essentially there's an arcade in Japan that has Mario Kart as a fully VR experience. So you sit in a cockpit with a set of pedals and a steering wheel, and you can actually play Mario Kart in virtual reality with other players. And in the video that I saw, it had players like picking up blue shells, red shells, and throwing them at other players as well. Yeah. I just thought it looked so cool. And I think if Nintendo came to the game and said, "Hey guys, we're going to make a VR headset. Oh yeah, by the way, the first game we make is going to be Mario Kart in VR," I think people would absolutely lose their shit, and it would it would sell like hotcakes regardless. So
I'm still waiting for like one smart dude to work in that arcade to steal like the cartridge
code
and
cartridge.
Yeah, just like get the
like rubber ducky, the little like arcade game.
VR cartridges. Oh yeah, but that would be cool. Like if you wear like a Nintendo headset and you got those tiny games, and you need to put them in the side, I kind of like that. I kind of do like that.
That's how they work.
But it's funny though. I saw a guy yesterday in a video modding a 64 into a VR headset. He actually made a 64 run into a tiny VR headset side by side as well. So I don't know. For now, we will be able to enjoy it in a different way, I guess. But
yeah.
But I think that Nintendo wants to
mod the Switch.
Maybe. I mean,
yeah, there was a guy on the Switch too for VR, or at least it was just like dual screen videos. I don't remember seeing this little thing like. So they're trying.
Yeah, no, it's true. I think they are just playing on safe. I think they are really careful.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, they maybe Nintendo hardware-wise isn't that strong anymore, But games-wise, they got like really high quality. Everyone enjoys Mario Kart. Everyone understands the games they play, and they know with VR, it's kind of like not the whole family will understand VR. Let's be honest here. I mean, that's not how it works.
And this is a game, again, just quickly just talk about the Switch, because I've got a Switch personally, and I know Nathan's got a Switch. But Mario and Rabbids is actually like one of the sleeper hits of the year for me in terms of Nintendo titles. I just want to throw it out there quickly because it's a turn-based game, but it's Mario, it's Rabbids, and it is just a hell of a lot of fun, and it's actually really, really difficult. Yeah. It's
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah,
that's the like XCOM Mario game, right?
Exactly. It's like turn-based strategy, but it is just so much fun. So yeah, like, you know, I'm digging Nintendo as well, but you know, I just wish they would come to step up to the plate and dish out some VR, because I think that's what it needs. It needs more people investing into it, and bigger company like Nintendo behind it, I think is going to be good for everyone.
Yeah.
But I just want to go back to that quote very quickly, because he says there's not a lot of fun. No, there's not a lot of games in VR that's truly fun, and that was the bit that interests me the most. Like, what do you guys think of that?
What is truly fun? I mean, I kind of agree with him in a way. I kind of agree with him in a way, but it depends on what is truly fun. I mean, truly fun is like a game that I play for like weeks, you know, like Mario Kart that I return to. If that's truly fun, then he's right, okay? Then he is.
But then again, I mean, a game like Mario Kart in VR would be so easy to make.
No, that's true.
You'd think, but then I got VR carts. That thing's trash.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I mean. Like, it's not like for a lot of VR games, it's like the concept of VR that makes it more fun to play with.
Right,
and
exactly.
It's not like that we don't have any like killer titles, but that's also because we don't have any killer developers currently working on those kind of titles.
Yeah.
It's true. I mean, you can't expect from an indie dev to make Mario Kart like Nintendo would make Mario Kart, but it's not that the tools are not there for VR to do so. I don't think so.
Yeah. No,
And I have to agree as well. Like, there is you know, some sentiment in what you're saying, in that, you know, there is a lot of VR titles out there that are fun, but like I say, we're in a time right now where a lot of VR titles are sort of a bit gimmicky, you know, playing on the fact that it is just a VR game. Like, if it was a normal game, it probably wouldn't be anywhere near as fun. So I think there is some truth in what he's saying, but again, we're in a growing industry right now. And there is some stuff that's being developed right now that shows a lot of promise.
It's up to them, up to people like Nintendo to make fun games. It's not up to the consumer or even the hardware developer. I mean, it's up to the software developers of the games to make fun content using the tools that they have. I mean, I had a ton of fun playing Pokemon on my Game Boy, even though I only had 3 colors.
Yeah.
They just need to work with the tools that they have, and I'm sure that Nintendo can make a fun game with VR if they would put some effort in.
Yeah, no, that's true.
And look at you now, Rowdy. You know, you're having tons of fun playing Prison Boss.
Exactly.
Look how far you've come.
That also only has a few colors.
There's that like VR association. I can't remember the name right now. But they're trying to like unify the code for like VR games, and I think that if that does happen, that'll be a big deal. Because right now, like, everybody's writing on all different stuff, and if they're all writing on the same thing, they could cross-collaborate well.
Yeah. And some more full-length games would be nice too. I'm tired of getting into a game, and even if I do enjoy it, it's over in an hour or two. You know?
See, I like that aspect of
That's
it.
like-
I've never been able to work like
I know.
20-hour games. Like, it's nice to be able to knock a game out in 2-3 hours and really just, oh man, that was fun.
Yeah.
Well, then you're living in paradise, because that's everything.
I understand that.
I know. I love it.
That. But at the same time, I mean, if you look at my channel as well, I like doing like, you know, multiple series and like, you know, playing a game like multiple times. But at the moment, there's not a lot of VR games. I know Prison Boss is there. I played a lot of episodes of that. But there's not a lot of other games that you can really like continuously play and which has a story. I mean, of course you can keep on playing Onward. You can keep on playing Pavlov.
Right. Yeah.
And there will always be, you know, a little bit of a different experience. But I mean, like, you know, a story-driven, full-length game with interesting gameplay. That's something that I would like. Indeed, like a longer title.
Yeah.
But it seems like
those are in the works.
the only titles that do that right now are Oculus exclusives. So like you've got Wilson's Heart.
Gallery.
Actually, that is a very good point. Actually, the gallery is a very good one, and obviously they've got the second episode coming soon. But I would say,
Nate,
Get a little Resident Evil, you
right?
guys.
Well,
True.
Resident Evil is like the best version of that I could think of. But even then, it's not just a VR game. So they developed it first in first person, and then they added VR during development, which was amazing. But it's also one of those things like it's still not just a VR game.
But that will still be the standard for a long time to go, I think.
Oh, yeah,
I think,
And
for
thank
example,
God.
Rockstar
I'm so glad
will
they
never
said
make a
that one.
GTA game only for VR. I mean, never, not for the coming years. I mean, there will always be something that will be added.
Yeah.
did
I'm fine with that as long as it's done well, you know.
yeah, you got Lone Echo as well, which was a good game. Did you finish that one in the end, Rowdy?
Not yet. I'm still playing it though. Still playing it.
Yeah, I
But
think
I've
Another one. VR
I've
for
just finished,
exercise is cool.
I've just finished Out of Ammo. That's
Okay.
the new one.
But I mean, going back to Nintendo, it's like they want to build the road for VR on the Nintendo platform themselves, and I don't think they are ready for it yet. They don't really know what to do, because with like PC and PlayStation, it's like, okay, we got the headset, now you build for us. But with Nintendo, it's like, we make the hardware, we make the games, and then when the standard casual Nintendo VR stuff is there, then have the other developers join. And I don't think they really know, like they got like a very closed business system, you know, the people that work there did like all the Marios, and I don't think they have that much like experienced people on their team yet that do VR. I don't think they have anyone on there yet, because they said that they are not really into doing VR yet. So
Yeah.
I think that's it, and they will join. But again, yeah, too late, but not too late for Nintendo standards. They can handle it, the too late.
so. I think what Nathan's trying to say there is, Nintendo, if you're watching this, you should hire one of us to be your VR expert and pave your future in virtual reality.
Prison Boss
You know they're
meets
gonna win.
Raving
That's
Rabbits.
wireless. 100% wireless.
So just
Yeah.
moving on to a
Virtual
game, a virtual boy,
Exactly.
yeah. A game that's kind of short but fun, kind of sort of segues onto what we were talking about earlier. I want to talk about Duck Season. So that came out on the 14th and was developed by Stress Level Zero, and kind of like pulls at the nostalgia heartstrings. You know, we're all sort of similar ages here-ish, and we've all played Duck Hunt as kids. So what do you guys think of this title? Have any of you played it yet? Or, you know, I'd be interested to know what you guys think.
I haven't.
I don't know.
Nate, yes.
Okay, so me and Nathan have played it, and I'll go ahead with my thoughts on the game first up. So I probably completed my first playthrough of the game in about an hour, and you've got like 7 different endings in the game. I completed one of them, which was probably the most vanilla of them all, because there wasn't really any spooky bits, which were kind of portrayed in the trailer. And you know, essentially, I didn't shoot the dog throughout my playthrough, and I think if you shoot the dog during the sort of shooting sessions, then that'll affect what happens later on in the game. But you know, I thought the game was fun, and I had a lot of fun with it, and I thought the shooting mechanics were really solid. But I just found the game a little bit repetitive, and lacked a bit of depth. But then again, the original Duck Hunt was the same, right? You know, it was very repetitive and lacked depth as well. So, you know, it's fun, but in my opinion, lacked a bit of depth and could have had a bit more variety in there in terms of the shooting elements. I don't know if you sort of felt the same way about it, Nathan.
I mean, it's just, it has been very smart made, you know. It's like Duck Hunt, and then you build a lot of Easter eggs around it, but the rest is not really gameplay at all, you know. It's just, hey, I can play this tape and I can play this tiny mini game, but in the end it's about like the Duck Hunt experience. But I do know that the game has like 2 modes. You can play the campaign, that's like pretty much point to point, and then when you make a different decision, that it's not really, that's also a shame. It doesn't really tell you what decision you can make, you know. That's why you never know what ending you are going to get. But you can also play practice mode, and then you can keep on shooting ducks. But you are right. I think that you play this for maybe 2 to 3 hours, and then you have seen it all. but I think it's already better than their previous title, Hover Junkers. Of course, you can't really compare it to each other, but this is like, it looks good, you know, it has been well made, it moves in a nice way. There are some mechanics that a lot of developers can learn from, you know, like you got arms again. Like, how many games really give you arms, man? Like most games are always like floaty hands. Of course, if you grab items, your hands will disappear. But in the end, the animations and stuff like that, it's nice, and you can dive into the console. So I don't know, but I think that if the price drops to like $10, then everyone should jump on. Right now, I would just wait.
I wanted to say that I looked at the price, and it's too expensive. Especially, I watched I think I watched Mike's video on it, and it's too short for the price.
Yeah, it's the game.
And okay, they have seven different endings, but I mean, there's not that much. I mean, from what I understand, it's only going to be like the ending that's going to be really different, and like the entire gameplay is mostly similar.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't played it, but if that is the case, then the price is too high up there.
Yeah, exactly. And when I mentioned this on the Oculus Reddit, one of the guys there suggested playing through the game again. Like, if you want to see the multiple endings, just playing through the game on easy mode, because then you don't have to have as many waves as ducks to shoot, and you can kind of get through the game a little bit quicker just to see the different endings. And I thought that was a bit of a shame, really, because, you know, I was hoping for a bit more variety, a bit more of a challenge in terms of the actual shooting mechanics themselves, rather than just digging into the game just to find out the extra story elements, if you get what I mean. Yeah,
like there was no addition to the gameplay. It's just like I did one thing different.
Yeah. And I know it sounds like I'm beating on the game a bit, but like, and don't get me wrong, it is fun, and the shooting mechanics are satisfying, and they're good. You know, it feels cool shooting ducks in VR. What can I say? But it's just everything else, and you just think, we've got all these gimmicky games, like we go back to before. We want these kind of AAA full game titles that have got variety, got different mechanics that we can learn and adapt with as we play along the storyline. But it just seems like we're not getting that right now.
I might still play it though, just to get the experience. I mean, it's not like you talked me out of it or something. But,
no. Like, it is fun.
Yeah,
it's just one of those fast food VR games, you know. You just play it and okay, well that's it. Next.
If that is the case, then the price should be a bit lower, though.
It should be lower.
I like that word, Nathan. I think fast food VR game is a very good way of describing it. Definitely.
Is it a good like demo game?
Absolutely.
Like if someone were to come over and be like, "Oh, hey, what's a good game to show me? It's easy." Is that that's always nice.
Absolutely, yeah. I totally recommend it as a game to demo to friends and family, and that's probably why it'll stay on my library, purely for that reason alone.
Mm-hmm.
And just sort of brings me on really to a nice segue onto a couple of upcoming games, and hopefully they won't be in the same vein. They won't be fast food VR games as Nathan describes them, and they'll be a bit more fleshed out and a bit more story driven. So we've got Arktika.1, which is a pretty exciting title made by the same developers that made Metro. That's going to be released on the 10th of October for $19.99 in British pounds, $29.99 US dollars. And then we've got Brass Tactics, which is made by Hidden Path, and that's going to be coming out on the 19th of October on the Oculus Store as well. You guys excited about these two releases, or do you not know much about them?
What was the other game that Hidden Path made?
That was cool.
That looks pretty cool.
That was
like
Witchblood and Defense Grid.
Oh, okay. I thought that sounded familiar to me. I think they had made some other VR stuff.
Arktika looks dope, but it's like cheaper, and I read somewhere that it's like a 2 gig download, so it worries me that it might be shorter than expected.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Also,
always
if
going to
you
be a
look
little
at
bit
the trailers,
risky.
there's like 3 environments that they kind of show, so it makes you think like there's not so many areas. But I don't know. Like, Metro devs are great.
Yeah, and I think that was the one thing that stood out for me was the price, because I thought, well, you know, if it's a AAA game, you know, the big AAA games like Killing Floor, for example, have come out like, you know, $39.99 in British pounds. And the price sort of indicates that it's going to be like a big fleshed out game. So when I saw that it was $19.99, I thought, is it going to be one of these ones that is going to be lacking in content?
Yeah, the problem I have a bit with like those like AAA studios is that often they have only a small of their entire team that is working on a VR title. So it is a AAA developer that is making it, but there's only like maybe like 4 or 5 people of the actual AAA development team. They're actually working on a VR title, just to try like a different avenue, to try something else, to see to test the waters again a bit. It's not. I really don't think that Arktika.1, even if they advertise as we are developers from Metro, that all of the people that are working on Metro, that they're going to be working on Arktika.1. Definitely not. So I don't expect this to be a AAA title, but I do expect it to be a good game. Yeah.
For all we know, it could have just been like story writers that helped write it, that worked on Metro, and like different devs made the entire thing. Because
there's only a couple people, I think, that are. I mean, I don't know how many people are working on this title, of course, but
I don't think there's really that many giant VR studios right now at all. No.
So I just want to throw this comment out to the viewers out there. Which sort of titles out of those two, Arktika.1 and Brass Tactics, are you interested in? Like, Brass Tactics is a different kind of game. It's more of like a tabletop strategy game. Looks kind of fun if that's kind of your deal. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Or is there any other titles that we haven't discussed that are imminently going to be released that we've probably left out?
Yeah, I can already see appearing. Just waiting for Fallout 4.
Just waiting for Fallout 4.
Yeah.
November 17th, we got an official Skyrim Saturday, which is pretty good.
Pretty cool.
That's going to be awesome, definitely.
Yeah.
Paradise Decay, he's a big fan of Arktika.1.
But there's also a release date for Fallout, by the way. So.
Oh yeah.
When is it?
It's like 12/12.
Oh,
11?
That's right. Yeah.
I think it was like 12/12, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but it's around Christmas. I think we can expect some games, but like most games that are coming this Christmas have already been announced. You would be stupid as a dev to not announce it, and then come out of nowhere. That would be.
No.
So yeah, that's about it. That's all we get. I mean, I think I'm going to like Arktika.1 as well. I think it's going to have some really cool scripted scenes that are kind of scary, maybe, but in the end, it is a game where you teleport around, and that's the only deal breaker for me. Of course, this game has been made, it has been in development for a while. So when maybe the touch started to roll out, they were already starting to work on a concept. But still, maybe they could have gone for like a dash mode, but they still play around with that kind of like rookie concept. But they couldn't change it in the end because but they made it that way. So it's like there's an environment around you, but it's not made to explore. So that's kind of sucks. You will not be able to like really go Metro style where you go through those scary tunnels and just try to keep your visors clean, and stuff like that. Like that would be sick, like a legit Metro, or maybe just Metro VR parted. I would be fine with that. I wouldn't complain.
So it kind of brings me on to just a good question, just very quickly. So say this game is teleport only. In your eyes, Nathan, does that mean it's kind of a bit of a deal breaker for you? Like it breaks your interest a little bit?
I've watched an interview with the developers. The development studio's got like 4A games as far as I know. And they spoke to Tested about the game, and then they were asking like, "Hey, what's going to be like the locomotion there?" And then you could really see the guy being ashamed a bit, because in the end, I think the development studio really wanted to go for hardcore movement, but I think Oculus was the one, since it's an Oculus paid game. So I think that Oculus said like, "Well, this is the way we are going to do it." So I don't know, but I think it's a deal breaker. It's kind of a deal breaker for people that are really into movement all the time, like the story can be a thing that forgives the fact that it's like teleportation, I guess. But
it's interesting to hear that, because we discussed this last time on the other podcast, and that was about Killing Floor Incursion. That there's in the menu you can have this free locomotion setting, but at no point during any of the tutorial, which is 20 minutes long, they don't mention it at all. So I wonder if there is, like you say, pressure from Oculus to say to these developers, look, guys, we don't want to make anyone sick. You have to use teleportation in all your games.
But for some games, it just works really well. I mean, I always say if it's part of the story or part of like the game mechanics, then I have no problem at all with teleporting. Budget cuts is like an ultimate example of that, and they did it so well that I think like a lot of developers said, okay, so teleportation is the way to go in VR. I really think so. I really think that caused a lot because budget cuts teleportation was done so well.
I mean, that one that the Alice VR people made as well. I wasn't expecting it to be just teleport, but it ended up being pretty decent. Yeah, the Wizards. I mean, they made it work because basically everything that you teleported into was its own little environment.
But they have free locomotion now as well.
Yeah.
Also, people have been saying Seeking Dawn. That was another title that they're going to be releasing soon.
Yep, that is a title that was on my most anticipated video, Seeking Dawn. It's an interesting title. I think it was like FTL almost, but in VR. That's kind of what I kind of got the feel for it.
I mean, hopefully they will add like Walking Loco to that new game right away, because it was kind of silly. They waited until everyone was complaining and then they added it to the Wizards. Just add it right away, man. Like seriously. Be my guest. Be my guest. Just don't talk about it in the tutorial. Like, oh, we got Walking Locomotion. Watch out. But just add it as long as it's a part of the game. Again, with Arktika.1, it's a scene thing. So if you would be able to run around, then you are going through walls. I think they made it like a standing experience, you know, where you just hop from one place to another.
Watch it from like a certain place too. Exactly. It's on story driven. They don't want you like looking at the wall over there.
No, and they also build like defenses around you in a way. So it's really made for like a standing. It's also not room scale. You know, I haven't seen many. I mean, Oculus can do room scale, but I haven't seen many games coming out on Oculus Home that are actually making use of that. And especially if it's a teleportation system, then... okay, now I'm confused. Never mind. But you get my point, you know?
Yeah.
It's like what VR Maniac actually says in the chat. That they should always give a choice if you have free locomotion or teleportation. I mean, for most games, that will be the way to go. And if indeed, like Nate says, if a part of the game mechanic, then you know, choose the best locomotion that fits the game.
This game is not going to have walking locomotion. Arktika.1 is not going to happen. It has been built from the ground up for teleportation / dash.
So this is something I'd like to put out to the viewers and just ask their opinion. Really, what do you think is better? Full locomotion or teleportation? Which do you prefer? Do you prefer teleportation because, you know, maybe you get motion sick using full locomotion, which I know some people are susceptible to. I'd be interested to know what you guys' thoughts are. But yeah, certainly I would agree that the way forward is to have a choice, so you can choose between the two options. Definitely.
There's a lot of like other locomotion options as well are being developed. Like I know that one guy, I think Nate did a couple of videos with his demos. You remember the Mario kind of thing?
Yeah. He's like, that's true. Yeah, you're right.
He's really getting into like developing like alternative ways of movement, which look very, very cool and feel very natural as well. So I think there's still a lot of development that can be done there, and I think that the people from Bethesda have been doing some development on that as well. I think it's quite exciting. I don't think there's like already now like, oh, that's the way forward or that's the way to do, or like just give them like 20 choices of locomotion. Eventually, it will converge into something that will be implemented in probably every game.
Yeah, I saw Oculus did a series like 2 weeks ago on different versions of like VR locomotion. One was just laying your head in a little bit to go forward and like move your body back. So you're right. I think there's going to be some better ways they do things in the future.
So just looking at the comments here, Paradise Decay says, I'm kind of used to teleporting. It feels like it's a VR mechanic. People don't get motion sick. This is from DJ Remix, but some people get motion sick, but some people don't at all.
It's kind of interesting. I had one guy one time I had a conversation with, and he claimed that it was more natural to him to teleport, because
that's just how he moves in the real world.
He said if I move in a train, that's what he did. That's what he did. He said if I'm in a train, I often get motion sick. So what I do is I close my eyes for a little while, and then the next time I open my eyes, I'm somewhere else. And that's how we reasoned with teleportation. So I close my eyes, I teleport, and I'm somewhere else, and that worked for him. I'm not going to shoot him down for that. I mean, if that works for him, then it's good for him.
Talking about like what's normal, like we don't strafe in real life. You know, we don't walk sideways like crabs.
That's what he said. Like you find that more natural. It's like to be standing still and strafing forward or strafing backwards. I don't find that natural at all. You found teleporting more natural.
No, but again, like I'm also not saying that teleportation is bad. It's just that there should be something for everyone. Like for me, teleportation is like a thing to get into like the VR world. I also don't think that walking loco, what we have right now, is going to be standard. They are still figuring it out. You know, we haven't really heard that much about new ways of. I think we need better controllers, maybe something tracked hands, whatever. But it's just that more options in a game are always welcome. It's a big plus, and that's what I always do in my reviews. I'm always complaining about the fact it's teleportation only, but then I'm like, you know, is this game for teleportation only? Can it work? Because some games you can't say when you play that Rowdy mentioned, the game that still hasn't been out yet, with like the portals you can shoot and then go to the budget cuts. It's like, you know, I couldn't say to that game like, I want walking loco because this, then it wouldn't work, you know?
No, of course.
But most games can have more, for sure.
Yeah, especially at this point in time, since we're so early in the VR scene, I think options are just, you know, at this moment at least, like the way to go. And that is also the only thing that will allow further development of like other locomotion options.
Maybe we all need an Omni, right? So... You know, Omni, if you're watching this, you just send us an Omni. We'll sort out your locomotion problems.
He's from Belgium, man. I can talk to him in my own language.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But you know, yeah, like you say, I think there's some things that are being developed right now that maybe solve this problem, you know, in the future, and maybe sort of treadmills, haptic feedback suits, and all that kind of stuff that we dream about. Maybe one day will be a reality.
Yeah.
So
I just want to organically plug in, you guys. I don't want no kind of suits. Boom.
Just straight into
But I mean, in the end, it's better for all of us to enjoy a game with more movement options. Plus, it sells better for the developer too, because in the end, more people are gonna buy it. I'm sure a lot of people are not going to buy Arktika.1 because they know how it's going to move. So you sell more copies of your game. So wink, wink. There you go.
So moving on from room scale to world scale, because now you're no longer going to be tethered to your computer and you can walk around your whole house or your street or your town with a VR headset on, and that is going to be the Vive Focus. So they're talking about their standalone headset, no phone, no PC required, and it's all going to be built into the headset. You can play a game and walk around your city to your heart's content in your own little virtual reality world. So what do you guys think of that?
I'm not so enthusiastic about this.
No?
Yeah, it's going to be like a lower-end consumer model.
It's not going to be that great.
Look at people in VR, which would be awesome.
Yeah.
No.
If it's better than like mobile headphones or something, or headsets, then yeah.
That's the problem. Like, for me, if it's gonna be just better than mobile VR headsets, why would you spend so much money on it?
Yes,
I mean, it brings more people into the VR market, but it will also lower all the expectations that people have when they play VR. It will also lower the kind of things that developers can do with their game, because they need to make sure that it will work on that headset then as well.
Yeah,
I'm not so enthusiastic about it.
So just to get this clear, you don't think it's going to be like a fully fledged Vive experience? You think it's going to be some sort of like watered down mobile experience? Is that right?
Well, I mean, look at the PCs we all have.
Yeah.
How are they going to cram all of that in a headset?
In 2017, you're right.
I just have a feeling that HTC is trying to expand their market a bit, trying to catch more people with mobile, because I mean, we had the Gear VR, but they are kind of late to the party, to be honest. I mean, yeah, the Daydream came out a while ago because it's kind of similar to the Daydream. But I mean, how long is it ago that the Daydream came out? I mean,
does anybody like use Daydream?
You just see if you make a headset, you know, let's say Rowdy is going to make a headset, Prison Boss VR headset, new one on the market. Then in the end he wants to not only focus on PC market, then he's also going to make one for mobile, and then maybe something in the middle, you know. So in the end, I think every company that makes headsets now is going to do it, except PlayStation VR, I guess. Sorry, Frank, but
just look at the crossplay games that we have in the console market and in the PC market. I mean, there are games that do it, of course, but the majority of games never do it.
It's because the code is not unified, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's because PC gamers are often much more heavier gamers.
Yeah.
But then going back to a PC in a headset, you know, if you look at the HoloLens, and you know, some people have got some first-hand experience with this. Do you not think that it could work? You know, and that it would be maybe not PC as good as PC experience, but maybe that bridge between PC and mobile, maybe somewhere in the middle between them.
Yeah, but how much is that HoloLens?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like
that's a prototype. It's a prototype.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't compare that. A prototype HoloLens is way expensive, but I mean, a prototype iPhone was way expensive as well, probably.
No, but I'm saying, like, compared to like what we're saying, like a $200 Vive Focus, like it's not gonna.
It's actually interesting because Sweet Vive just posted a comment and he said wireless connected PC VR is the future, not mobile. But that's my opinion, and I kind of agree with that. I also think that the future for PC gaming and VR gaming is more like the wireless connections to your PC rather than like standalone devices. Because I think that's maybe the future of the console market. Maybe that's where the console market will eventually go, that you have like a VR console that you put on your head directly instead of connecting it to your TV. But for PC, I think it will always be, the desktop. I mean, always up until the point that we can have like such small devices that you can just fit it in like a headset or fit it into a lens or I don't know what. But for now, I think it's wireless is the future. Wireless PC headsets, indeed. I agree with Sweden.
Next generation for sure.
Do you guys...
Frank, you need to rejoin, by the way. There we go. Bye, Frank. No, but sorry about that. There he goes.
There he is. So do you guys want to take any bets on how much this Vive Focus headset's going to cost? Friendly competition, maybe put a little wager on there.
$300.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It'd have to be like around 300.
Okay.
So, like, be competitive.
Yeah, because any higher than that, and it's like, why don't you just get a real headset?
Why don't you just get a Vive? Why don't you just get an Oculus?
I mean, the Oculus is what, 400?
I think it's probably
$5.
Yeah, but I mean, Vive is not going to change their price because of like this thing was planned before this whole summer sale went on, and that's the same. Maybe they will be fast, but I think they are going to hype it up a bit, then release it for the price. Even that is like $100, you can get a Rift, but you still need the PC. So I mean, still,
exactly.
I think it's going to be between the Gear VR and the Oculus. I think
we just have to wait until the reviews are out. But I also think people are going to get confused once again, and that's what we spoke about last time with mixed reality headsets. Like, people now know a Rift, a Vive, Gear VR, it's simple, PlayStation VR, but then it starts to go, because then someone is like, yeah, but I can buy this Vive Focus, but you can use it with computer too, right? So you got some people
but
that...
I got an Acer too. Exactly, I know what you mean. You're gonna throw around tons of names,
and that's totally up to Vive and all the other companies to like, please market it clear, because it's going all over the place. It's so chaotic, and then people don't know what they buy anymore. Then you get people that have it at home, and then it's like, okay, so where's the cable for the HDMI or something like that, So I don't know what's gonna happen.
I'm just a bit scared that indeed developers will try to water down their game to get it working on those kind of headsets. And we all have, we have a 1080 Ti and we have like an i7 processor, the top end of the PC gaming market at the moment. Oh yeah, but it needs to be playable on like an i5 or an i3 with like, some crappy graphics card that they shoved in that thing. And that is a bit of a shame, because the game could have been so much better looking and so much more immersive than I think.
I think it's going to have its own store.
I hope so. But if they do, then a lot less people will buy it, because a lot of those people want to, they want to have access to the Steam store, or they want to have access to, an established store that is already there.
But look what they've done. They've already created a storefront, haven't they, with Viveport?
So, yeah.
How well is that doing? You know,
I mean,
Nobody-
I've seen more topics on Reddit how to uninstall Viveport than people actually asking which games they have on there.
yeah, exactly.
So, I mean,
I think the concept is cool to like pay like a monthly fee and play, because VR games are so short and you get burned so often. But yeah, it's not there yet.
So I'm just going to throw it out there. I think it's going to be around $500. The Vive Focus. So
Dang, son.
you heard it all here first.
Yeah, but see, they go into Chinese market first.
I don't know.
500.
they're gonna
So
have to,
they're
like-
going above the PC price.
Yep. And I think they'll justify that price because you don't need a PC to use it.
That's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
maybe
guess they
some
can be
people
bigger.
want that,
No,
but-
I'm saying they're gonna have to buy like, you know, one of those like giant landfills where they can like shove all those headsets after a year to get rid of them. Then.
And then we'll be scooping them up in 30 years' time and they'll be collected.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Oh.
So
I hope that it works. I hope everything falls together and that they get like a great headset and that everyone buys it and everyone wants to play VR, of course. But $500 for a headset like that, I mean, I would just save up for a better PC and then go all out with an Oculus or.
You never know what consumers are gonna do. That's the thing. Like you
That's
can't
the
really
thing.
predict it. Especially again, how is it getting marketed? If it's going to have a great marketing campaign, like let's say they send every YouTuber that new standalone thing.
Oh yeah. I would play with it definitely.
That could hype it up in a way.
Everyone said Apple was crazy when they released their first iPhone for like, what was it, $500. They were laughing at them like, who's going to buy an iPhone for that price? But I mean, it was. But the difference that I still see is like, you know, you're buying a watered down device, unless they have some kind of like technological revolution that they haven't told us yet. But I don't see how they can put a 1080 Ti and i7 processor, you know, and all of that stuff in a headset. I don't.
And even if they did, then the amount of power required would not be something standalone at that point, you know. So.
Oh, and then it's getting real big. Then you get this headset over here. Then you are going to wear this freaking huge headset.
Frank's gone.
Yeah.
Where's Frank?
You see, like this is what you are going to wear. Then you know.
Yeah.
You can put like a 1080 in this one, for sure.
Put a car in that one.
See, but what I'm thinking too is like, let's say they build the headset and everything. Where the hell are the games gonna get stored? You know what I mean? Like, how much memory are they gonna build?
I mean, if they put a 1080 Ti in there, then just add like a 4 terabyte hard drive as well. You know.
Right.
Yeah, that's what you want. You want to be. You want on your head
on the back,
to
you
have
know,
a
to
4
balance it
terabyte
out a bit.
Western Digital hard drive. A couple of pounds on the noggin there. That's gonna
On
be
the
real
back,
comfortable.
you know, to level it out so it's nice. And
Oh, that's
balanced.
true. Yeah. Ideally, you want. It's all about moving the weight around.
Because
2 terabyte here, 2 terabyte there.
Yeah.
So does anyone know when this thing is actually coming out?
No, I don't.
I think Nathy suggested it might be around sort of Christmas time, maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
That would be interesting.
That's
But while we're on the subject of sinking a ton of money into new tech, obviously this week Apple announced their new iPhone 8 and iPhone 10. So no iPhone 9, but they've jumped straight from the iPhone 8 and to the iPhone 10, which they refer to as the iPhone X. And talking about like being expensive, so this thing, iPhone X, iPhone 10, whichever you want to call it, is £1,149 for the 250.
Well, yeah, that's the high model, right?
Yeah. So that's pretty crazy. The iPhone
It better
8.
drive me to work if that is actually the price, you know. It better drive me to work.
You can go on a holiday for that, for like 2 weeks. For that money, you know.
But like Nathan said, you just don't know how
Just
consumers are going to react to these kind of things, even if the price is high, because
Apple is gonna sell, man. It's gonna sell.
This is what I mean, because they've completely sold out of pre-orders. You can't actually pick one up on pre-order right now.
Pre-order it yet.
No, it's completely the pre-orders have sold out already on the Apple Store.
Well, you can't. That's what I'm saying. Pre-orders don't start until October 27th at 1201 PST or something like that. You can't well, maybe you're talking about the 8, because I'm gonna get an iPhone 10.
Oh, you are?
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm already planning on pre-ordering it. You can't do it yet.
So I'm pretty keen, but I'm interested to know your thoughts as to why first.
Yeah, why?
One, because I can't wait to be watching Netflix and have that little notch in my way, because that's going to be fun. Yeah. But more importantly, I just think it's a huge step forward.
You're going to buy it to watch Netflix?
What?
Well, what did you say? You're going to buy it to watch Netflix?
That was a joke.
Okay.
No, yeah. I like it. I think it's cool, and I don't really care that much about the Face ID thing, but I like the edge-to-edge screen, and I think I'm gonna enjoy it.
Whoa.
I like iPhones. I like
Did you guys see that,
everything they do.
Face ID meme from yesterday or whatever, where like he's like, and we've announced Face ID and switched over to NSA, and they're like, we love these guys.
Oh yeah.
But the thing that I mean with the difference still is like Apple is pushing the limit there with the technology, with you're buying something that is a luxury product, like a top luxury product, but the Vive Focus is not a top end product, no matter how you turn it. If they're gonna price it though as a top end product, I don't think that's the right strategy. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I don't think that it will sell well if they indeed take a price that is so high up there. But again,
like right now, like most of your Vivos are like enthusiasts.
Yeah.
And that they're trying to shoot for casuals.
Yeah.
No, they're just trying to target some people.
That's what Apple did with their iPhone SE. What was that thing?
The C, right?
Yeah.
That's
one that was
C. Oh.
But Apple is a brand that established themselves as a luxury. I mean, I don't even. Did it actually sell well? Maybe Austin knows.
Oh hell yeah, it's
I
totally
don't know about that one. I imagine it probably did well though, because everyone wants to have an iPhone.
Yeah. Apple phones.
Into that.
I mean, Apple phones are made to keep people hooked in a way, and it's also made to, like, people want more every time they buy one. It's like a very addicting way. And plus, I mean, let's be honest here. If you got an iPhone, then you got some kind of like status, especially like kids. I think kids want to have an iPhone because the other people at school also have an iPhone.
I judge people when I get a green message.
And to be honest with you, I mean, no, but to be honest with you guys, I think that the iPhone is a very solid device. I'm not very fan of their let's say computer stuff, and I mean iPads are okay too, but I mean Android isn't bad either. It's just that they got a very big fan base and it's very dedicated. They can sell whatever they want. It always sells. It's crazy. That company is so big. It's unbelievable.
So you're going to pick one up, Nathan, do you think?
I was very interested in getting the iPhone X.
For the AR capabilities?
Also, yeah, but also because, I mean, I have an iPhone 6S right now, a Plus. And I was like, yeah, why not upgrade now? I mean, it could be cool. But, I mean, I like a big screen myself. I like AR, of course, but I also like a big phone with a big screen. So the X doesn't offer that yet. So maybe I'm going to wait. Maybe, I don't know. But if I would buy one, it's not because I really need one myself, but it's just because of AR that I'm like interested.
I almost feel like I'm like the oddball out with like my OnePlus, OnePlus 3T or what do I have?
Who allowed me? Who allowed Rowdy in this podcast if he's not?
Rowdy, what are you doing? Rowdy hipster.
I had the iPhone once. I hated it. I absolutely hated it.
Yeah.
Rowdy
I'll tell you now. Like, I'm super interested in the iPhone X, and it is for one killer feature, and that is all that they needed to show me, and that is that I can now become a talking poop emoji. That was the selling point for me. I was literally just throwing my money at the screen at that point. So I think I'm
like technological revolutionary, right? That's
exactly.
what we 20 years ago. Then that's what we were thinking about.
We've come so far.
Put a slap him in the face.
We've come so far. Now we can be talking poops ourselves. So I'm pretty excited about it. No, I think I probably will end up picking one up. Yeah. But like you say, I didn't realize that the pre-orders weren't available right now. So when I went on the Apple Store earlier on today, I thought they were completely unavailable because they'd sold out. So I think you're right.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, I'll wait for you to give me the heads up before I pre-order one. But I'm pretty interested as well, actually. So as much as I mock it, I am actually pretty interested in the iPhone.
It's weird, right? Humanity wants to be a poo now, and they want to be a horse, and they want to be a chicken. I don't get it.
Pinnacle of human revolution, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Just look at Snapchat. It's like one of the most popular apps on the iPhone, and it's probably just for that very reason alone that they've got those awesome filters.
Well, you know, the A11 or whatever that bionic chip thing that they're talking about, it can do some pretty cool augmented reality stuff too, which I think would be fun to talk about. I mean, I don't know so much about the demos because you always know those are kind of staged and everything, but it does seem like there could be some really cool augmented reality things in the future, at least for mobile.
Definitely, and that's another reason why I'm pretty interested in it as a platform, because I think, you know, we talk about VR and we all love VR, but, you know, AR is like on our doorstep, and it's got a good chance to really get into the mainstream quicker than VR has right now. So definitely, you know, it's worth keeping an eye on the pulse there. So that's what I'll be doing.
I feel like AR is really going to take off when we can get the like Google Glass kind of stuff really working well.
Yeah, but also like AR
just a
needs.
pair of glasses.
I mean, AR needs a lot of funds from everyone, because then in the end they can bring VR and AR together, because that's what they want to do in the end. I mean, I got like the HoloLens now, and of course it's like a tiny field of view, but it can close up a whole part of the screen. If that's going to be, like, you can still look through it a bit, but if it's going to be even brighter, then you could close your whole environment in front of you, wherever you want, you know?
So you can create like AR, VR. Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
So I'd be interested to know what the viewers think in the comments, because I'm probably sure there's some hardcore Android users out there that want to sort of burn at the stake right now. What are they saying, Rowdy? Are they saying much?
I just saw that Sweet Viver agree with me fully, so that's all I need. That's all I need.
Well,
I feel like it's customization as well.
Sweet Viver's also going to get kicked out of the group as well. So.
Yeah. Yeah. No more shout outs, Sweet Viver. No more shout outs.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sweet Viver, man, Sweet Viver.
I'm sorry I screwed it up for you, man.
Sweet Ivor. We love that guy.
Sweet Ivor, yeah.
He's awesome.
So I just want to also just say to you guys as well, because I know I mentioned this in last week's podcast about the JBL products that I was going to talk about for the Oculus Rift. So I've got the boxes here.
I saw some pictures of on your Instagram.
Yeah, I posted in pictures of it there as well. So you got the in-ear ones and the over-ear ones. But I'll tell you right now, do not buy these products. Anyone that's watching this. They're nowhere near as good as the stock Oculus offerings, which is mind-blowing. You know, I don't even know why these products even exist if they're not going to be better than what is already offered straight away. So what I found with both these products was that they were lacking bass, and yet that is probably one of the biggest selling points they actually advertise on the box, which I thought was really bizarre. So yeah, I'm actually going to be sending both these products back to JBL and asking for a refund. And I'm going to stick with the stock Oculus headphones because, in my opinion, they're the most comfortable and they deliver the best sound quality available right now. So it's a controversial and strange conclusion that I came out of testing these, but ultimately that's what it came down to. They just weren't good enough.
Shame.
So how did you find them in the first place? Like, did they advertise it to you in a way, or?
No, I think I was just Googling Oculus accessories, just to look to see what was out there. Because, you know, I use a few accessories on my Rift. I use a VR cover and I use some VR Labs lenses because I used to wear glasses in the Rift. But using those products has made using the Rift much more enjoyable and more comfortable. So I just wanted to see what else was out there. And then I found these, and I was surprised they even existed and surprised that I hadn't heard of them before. And now I know why. It's because they're rubbish.
Wow.
So,
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. And you were really pumped about those too. It sucked that it didn't work out.
Certainly,
it's a great idea.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time, it's good to know that the standard headphones are great.
Exactly right, because the over-ear ones were the ones that were going to interest me the most because I really like the over-ear design. And they do seal your ears in more, so it cuts out some of the background noise, but it's just lacking the bass that the original ones provide, which is, you know, what you want when you're playing a lot of shooting games. You want that like punchiness going on. So yeah, it's a shame, but you know, I get to send them back and get a refund, so it's not all lost. But yeah, so I just thought I'd let you guys know that was the situation with that.
Maybe they went a little too excited. I think this is gonna happen where, oh, I got Razer headphones on my, oh, I'm so hipster, and then, oh, I got the, I don't know, like all the brands. Like everyone is gonna jump on there, you know.
But get this right. So during my research and whilst I was posting about this on Reddit, a guy in the community said that there's a set of headphones out there available for the Oculus Rift by a company called Orzine, and they're $399.
What?
Yeah, so they're actually the same price as a Rift with touch controllers.
Just for the amazing
earphones. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll send these guys an email. So I've sent them an email, and I'll see if they reply back and send me a set to try out. I doubt it very much, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, these things exist. It's a crazy.
Hey, if Apple can do it, then maybe they can as well.
Yeah, I'm sure they've built up the reputation to be able to do that.
Yeah, Orzine, we've all heard of them.
Yeah, easy.
So all these like crazy third-party companies trying to charge like happy ass.
Yeah.
Oh, C-Top is asking if we already talked about the visor.
What the
The
visor.
I don't know what he means. I got to demo it at PAX West. Isn't that one of the newer headsets that is coming?
Is it called visor?
The Dell visor.
Oh, the Dell visor.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I haven't tried that one yet.
You can pre-order it for $350. And what is it exactly?
AR or VR?
I think it's a mixed reality headset.
Inside-out tracking.
So I'd be interested, C-Top, if you checked it out at PAX, what did you think of it, and how did it compare to the HTC Vive that you use daily?
He's saying it was 450 with controllers, and it has 1440 screens and no sensors. So it's also.
Is he talking about the Climax? Or no? Never mind.
That's different.
No.
Oh, okay.
That's
on another note.
By the way.
That looks pretty cool.
So, will it support like Steam VR or?
Yeah,
like
the mixed reality headsets will support Steam VR.
So it's another mixed reality headset.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mixed reality.
This is what I'm talking about. Like I'm always confused.
What
so
is
confused.
it now? He says that the headset was very comfy and that the screens looked great, but the field of view was not that great. Actually.
Yeah, and I think we're going to get that a lot with these headsets. That they probably do a fairly good job, but if you're a gamer, there's only two options right now.
There's only one option. Yeah, exactly. Or three, but
so
I really like.
If you're a PC gamer, there's only two.
Yeah. Also interesting is that the Pimax 8K will actually work with the Vive base stations.
Oh yeah,
and the controllers.
That's cool, actually. That's a smart move by them too.
I still don't get how that works. I mean, how can you have?
Are they also allowed to do it?
8K.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. They just did it on their own.
in a VR headset. And I mean, it's freaking awesome if they can, but what kind of computer do I need to have to run it?
Yeah, the market share available to people that are able to run that headset is so tiny. But I guess that's why it's more of a just like pushing the limits kind of thing.
Yeah.
How far can we take it, even if it's not realistic?
Yeah, people are saying that. I mean, it's not 8K; it's actually 4K, but there are two of them. But I mean that's
8K to your graphics card. Oh no, it's not. That's not true actually, because it scales differently.
Yeah, okay, but that is still like a huge load on your PC. I mean, I don't know how that is for you guys, but there are some games that I have sometimes I need to turn the settings down, especially if I'm doing recording. That just takes a lot of load from my graphics card. So I don't know if two 4Ks on my graphic cards, how that will work actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know what they are doing.
What frame rate is it, by the way? Does anyone know that? Does maybe someone in the chat know what frame rate they're running it at?
They have to run it at 60, right? Otherwise, or 90,
Yeah.
90 officially.
second. Hell yeah. Yeah.
I thought that Pimax was more like a thing that you see a lot where companies just try to get attention, even that it's kind of like something that no one really can buy or can run.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, they're probably doing that whole foveated view thing as well, where only what you're looking at, like near the middle or whatever, is really well rendered, and then. So, I mean, they have things in place, I would imagine, because, just about nobody's going to be able to run it. So they're going to have to do some of that trickery to make sure people...
I'm actually far more interested, instead of having such a high resolution headset, I'm actually much more interested in techniques like foveated rendering, where they, instead of like, they use like, some, crazy 8K screen or 4K screen, that you actually just very pinpoint where you're actually looking and increase the resolution there. People have been saying here that it's probably going to be 60 frames per second, but they mentioned 75 to 90 in the specs. Yeah, I don't know.
So what you're talking about there, Rowdy, is that needs internal eye tracking there, right?
Yeah, I mean, you still have a very high K in screen. I mean, you can have like an 8K screen or whatever, but only a very small portion of the view is actually just showing the 8K, and all the stuff that is rendered around there is on a much lower resolution, and that makes it actually much clearer for you to see, because every time that you look somewhere, then the software, the hardware that is doing the foveated rendering is actually changing that resolution every time.
But I guess the benefit of that also is the fact that it won't be so demanding on your graphics card, right?
Well, yeah, that's why. I mean, you can have an incredibly high resolution screen, but the load on your computer will be much lower because it's not constantly rendering that amount on your vision.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Cool.
Does the Pimax have foveated rendering?
I don't know. I'm just assuming, because it would make no sense to not at least try and utilize some kind of technology.
I don't think it does. It's not from what I've
maybe
seen.
not with eye tracking, but maybe still with that they indeed like increase the resolution, like the center of the image or something. Mm-hmm. That they put a higher resolution there than on the edges.
Yeah, but this Pimax 8K headset, is this going to be the final one they are going to sell? Because we all know they made a couple of headsets before, from 4K without positional tracking to 4K with positional tracking and blah blah blah. So
I'm still waiting for my pre-ordered 3.
If they are not going to sell it, then it's just a way to attract more attention to their company. Like, when are you actually going to sell this? Because I think it's going to be way too expensive then. So it's like they are every time they are hyping it up a bit, but there is no real, like, when are you done developing? Because, I mean, they have been doing this for a while. It's like, is this 8K?
Vive says that it will have FOV rendering later with an eye tracking add-on.
Yeah, did you see that it has add-ons, so you can like buy more pieces and clip them in, or
well, that's what I can't wait to do, is buy an incredibly expensive headset and then have to buy add-ons.
More pieces. Yeah, exactly.
That's the ideal situation I want to find myself in.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised they launch it and then they go on Kickstarter to get everyone funding it, and then they just send it out to everyone. That's a feeling I have. I'm not sure why, but it seems kind of fake. They have something, but they don't share it that much. They don't bring it out. I can tell you guys that I did get a couple of emails before from them asking me if I wanted to try their headset, but I was like, what do you want to do exactly? Because I can review something that isn't ready yet, but what is it gonna like? Yeah, so I don't know. But this 8K one doesn't seem to go for sale yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Maybe they're just trying to make TVs one day, and this is the easiest way to get their name out.
I mean, you can make the coolest headset right now that is way too advanced. But what is your plan with it? Because you can't really sell it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I like the gadgets and all the stuff I hear here. I mean, it's going to be a pleasure for my eyes, I'm sure, and for my ears maybe, depends on what the audio is gonna be. But yeah, in the end, it's like, are you gonna sell it? What are you gonna do? What's the plan, Sherlock?
Yeah, Threemo is saying that the graphics cards is the only thing that would be able to do foveated rendering. So yeah, I don't know yet how that is gonna happen.
Yeah. It's just,
okay, guys.
Yeah.
So I just want to kind of like wrap it up. We've been going on for about just over an hour and 10 minutes. So I just want to sort of quickly go around the room, find out what you guys have been playing this week, if you've been playing anything in VR at all. So go for it, Prometheus. What have you been playing this week? More CS:GO, or have you been?
Well, actually, I just got a new job, so
Okay.
I've been doing all those like trainings and
Congrats,
stuff
man.
at work. So yeah, thank you. I haven't had time to play anything.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Yeah, juggling that.
The group now.
Yeah, juggling that work life and VR
Yeah.
time is definitely tricky. Yeah, man.
Okay.
I have to deal with that on a day-to-day basis. But sacrifice is right. That's what we do for you guys. So
So we have to.
yeah. What about you, Frank? What have you been playing?
Well, I quit my job and I got 4 more jobs. So I've been an office worker. I have been a chef. I've been a clerk, and most recently I was a what is it? I think you guys know. I forget. Mechanic. Yeah.
Job
So
simulator.
yeah, just to kick it in. Job sim.
So, like, are you going full time YouTube now, or is it
I'm up like 21 hours a day. I'm full time everything.
full-time?
I own my own business, and this is just now. I'm trying to start a second business, basically with YouTube, and I love it. I mean, I went to school with this, so finally I found a place to be.
And you're on a lucky streak right now, so I'm sure. I hope that
I would
continues
just,
for you, man.
I just don't stop. I think that's the key, grind.
So, what about you, Rowdy? Let me guess.
I feel like we've ragged on him enough about.
No. Go on, Rowdy.
This week.
I finished Prison Boss today.
Oh,
Damn.
No.
Can we,
we want
Like,
more.
Star Wars Prison is done.
is there
Wars
any
Prison
spoilers?
one.
Is there any spoilers at the end
Ooh, no,
I need to be aware of?
I might get out. I might not. Who knows? Watch the next video. No, I played indeed. Like I finished Prison Boss and I played some the IOTA project, which is
Okay,
a
yeah.
mech simulator. And then I thought, if I played the IOTA project, I might as well continue with Archangel. So I played some Archangel as well, and some Out of Ammo Death Drive. I finished that one as well, actually.
So I haven't played that. Out of ammo.
Which one?
Is it, out of ammo. Is that just available on Steam right now? I don't think it's.
Out of Ammo is their first game, and now they made like a second game which is called Out of Ammo Death Drive, which is more
cool.
like it's like base building, and it's a little bit strategy, but it's I like that kind of stuff, just messing around in VR.
Cool.
The whole game
about
is
you,
pretty
Nathan?
much about Dean Hall, by the way. Just saying. The guy who yeah, well, it's well, I am not full time working as a store clerk or office mechanic, whatever. But I kind of like that when people ask, what did you do this week? Yeah, I was a full time store clerk. But no, I played Manifest 99. Like it's like a narrative, story-driven experience, just gaze movement, point to point. Very nice, very artistic. Beautiful story. Like what Rowdy says, like a story. That's one of those examples where story can really like. I felt for the characters, and I really like. I have the feeling that this experience gave something to me, that I can carry on. And that's what I like when you have like VR games where they really bring a message and you really feel, and not like, oh yeah, we played another mech simulator or we played this again where I shoot some zombies, but seriously like a message in the end. So yeah, I really like that one. I also played IOTA project yesterday. I really like the concept of it and the demo. They need to work on a lot of stuff, that's for sure. It's definitely not ready for the public yet. But again, like compared to Archangel, you can move within the mech, so I'm not complaining. It's very nice, and that's about it, to be honest. I haven't really played anything else. Yeah, Duck Season. But no, that's about it. Yeah.
So I've been playing. I went back to Killing Floor and I played the Paris level. I don't know if you've played that Paris level with the sniper rifle.
Wait, which one?
I think it's the third level in Killing Floor Incursion, where
still
you're on
need
the
to play that game.
the Paris
you're on the
level.
rooftops. Yeah. So I played that. I thought that was probably the best level that I've experienced right now because I loved being on the rooftops with the sniper rifle. I just thought that was so cool. But also, I also checked out Manifest 99 and sort of mirror what Nathy says. Really, it really sort of pulls at the emotional heartstrings and has got like an interesting story to tell. Like it's only maybe a 20-minute experience. I would call it an experience rather than a game because there's not much game mechanics involved in it. You basically gaze into the eyes of crows to move your perspective around, which is quite an interesting way. But it's got an interesting story that gives you a nice sort of ending, you know, wraps it all up quite nicely. So yeah, I would recommend checking that out as well. But you know, I think it's about £4. But in terms of replayability, it's, you know, you're probably not going to play it again. So I'll just be aware of that. So yeah, have you guys got anything else you want to throw in there? Anything you want to talk about before we throw it out there to the chat to see if they want to talk about anything?
What should I play after Prison Boss?
Like play some more escape games. That's what I would say. No, that's something you could do.
Yeah, and if you speaking of Manifest 99, I gotta give away like 5 copies for PlayStation VR on my channel. If anybody wants to try to enter, you guys are more than welcome to too. It is beautiful.
Nice.
That sounds good.
Let's have a quick look at the chat, see what they say.
I also totally forgot to tell you guys that you can also play Quake 2 in VR right now. So.
Oh yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
Yeah.
I wonder how many other games are gonna get that treatment.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the video yet, go check out Vive. He made like an instruction video on how to play Quake in VR. So, but I enjoyed that. I got real sick because I played it 2.5 hours. And yeah, as you guys said, like walking as a crab for 2.5 hours, nah, don't do it. But it was worth it. You know, sometimes you need to get motion sick to play a very amazing old school game, but it's intense. It's very intense.
The movement in Quake is so much fun.
Yeah, it is. It's super fast. Same for Doom.
Is it faster than Serious Sam? The one that we played?
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, same, but Serious Sam, like, Rowdy and I played it multiplayer. Serious Sam, like, you run so fast. My God, that's such an intense...
That's funny.
It was great, Rowdy, but I got very sick in the end.
Like bunny hopping around in Quake is probably got to be the most sickening and fun thing.
No. They have trampolines in Serious Sam, man.
Trampolines,
that
yeah.
Is insane. The
Oh,
trampolines.
Man, yeah.
It's nuts. It is.
Because they blow you up like 40 or 50 meters in the air.
Dang.
That's gonna feel like VR is real too.
We made a video on it, I think, Nate, you know.
What? Yeah, we did. It's one of the funniest videos I've ever done. No, but it was great. So yeah, Quake 2. Go check it out if you can handle it at least. Yeah.
C-Top is asking if Nate knows that he is even wearing a headset.
Nathy was
not
born
anymore.
in a headset.
It's so natural
Molded,
to him.
crafted in
No, he's wearing a headset.
I gotta say this one is very heavy though.
I was gonna say I'm pretty sure you can feel that way.
You go shopping wearing that thing.
No, but it's nice. Like, look at this. I got like a portable. You know, this is like connected to. Oh man,
So
the
next
feels
gen.
are real. The feels
So
are
next
real,
gen.
guys. This is like real Oculus stuff. You see that? That eye. Now it's Oculus from Facebook. But hey, whatever.
All right, beautiful, you guys. We're just kind of dithering away to nothing now.
So any more
Anybody
questions?
wanna sign off?
Any more
Okay,
questions
please.
from the chat, or before we sign off very quickly? I'm just going to quickly check.
Check.
Then we'll sign off.
Someone said that it looks like a graduation cap, Nate. You graduated in VR.
Oh yes. I did. Oh.
Okay, so
how
no
it hurts
questions
my
in the chat.
eyeballs.
So that is going to be the end of this week's podcast. This is actually episode 2. Like, we had a pilot and then we had episode 1. This is episode 2.
The pilot.
The pilot was crazy, but hopefully we're going to put something together now and maybe put this on iTunes or something else. But we'll keep you posted in next week's podcast on how that's going. So thanks for watching, guys, and thanks for getting involved, and thanks for people like C-Tops, Vive, and Paradise Decay for swinging by and saying hi. We really appreciate it. And thanks to you guys as well. And have an awesome week, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you later.
See you later.
Bye.